So hello and welcome back to my channel and a new series I thought I would at least try to get into if there's any interest in it. And that is my Lives of the NPCs of World of Warcraft. I've actually been playing the game for what feels like a very long time, but the longer I'm playing it, the more I get interested in the little stories. And today's little story is about old Emma of Stormwind. Um, Her full name is actually Emma Fellstone. She's known as Old Emma. She is located in Stormwind City in the Canal District in this nice little house that you see here. She can be found wandering Stormwind and complaining. And that's pretty much all I ever thought about her is she was the NPC that walked by complaining about having to get the water all the time. And then I started looking into her a little bit more and I found out so much more. She's actually got an entire backstory and it's kind of tragic. Um, she is originally from the Western Plaguelands. She's originally from what was Lordaeron. And most of her family were destroyed by the Plague of Undeath and the rise of the Scourge. She was left completely alone and started working at, from what everyone, at least according to Wowhead and Wowipedia, she actually worked at the Finest Thread, which is a tailoring shop in the Cathedral Square that is now known as the Three Winds. It's the place where you can go do the trial of style. The evidence for this is evidently there is a tailor, Doc Mixapixel, who said that she left a spool of thread for him at the shop. Now, old Emma, she actually featured a little bit in a quest way back in Classic, and that was out at the Fellstone farm. And she and her sister and her brother all had a farm out in the Western Plaguelands. And like I said, it was kind of sort of overrun by the Scourge. It was not a good thing. And back in Classic, you could actually do a quest on Horde or Alliance where you found out that old Emma was left the farm by her sister Janice. And if you were on the Horde side, you found out that Janice left half of the farm also to her brother. So we're going to fly out. We're going to check out Emma's farm. Plus, a little bit of first-person dragon flying is always fun in the old world. But here we are at the farm where old Emma grew up and lived, got married, and actually had 3 kids, which is part of the tragedy of old Emma's life. Old Emma was actually married to James Fellstone, and he was known as Jem, and he died in the First War. I don't know if he died because of the Scourge or if he died before that in one of the wars that came before Arthas. But he did die, and he and Emma had 3 children, one of whom she named after her husband, Jem. And that's, poor Emma. The more I dug into her story, the more I felt bad for always being like, oh, what is this NPC that's just always complaining? So anyway, Emma and her family owned the farm, and her brother and all 3 of her sons actually succumbed to the plague of undeath. And her brother is actually found in Undercity, and now supposedly he's also found in modern Ogremar, but I wasn't able to find him. I did switch over to a Horde character here in just a minute, just so that we could at least see old Emma's brother in the Undercity. He actually changed his name and was not known as Jeremiah Feldstone anymore. He actually changed his name to Jeremiah Payson. And it's not known if Emma actually knows that her brother is still alive or not, which, again, tragedy. I'm starting to think that everybody in World of Warcraft needs some extensive therapy. Like, even the NPCs, their lives have got so much tragedy and heartbreak. If you know of any NPCs that have just had a happy life, please leave it in the comments down below, because I'm dying to dig into some happier stories. But, you know, I feel like old Emma's making the best of a bad situation. So yeah, like I said, we're going to go over and we're going to check out Mr. Jeremiah Payson. He became a cockroach vendor. He chose to join the Forsaken under Sylvanas and changed his name from being Jeremiah Fellstone to Jeremiah Payson. And he is the cockroach vendor, so if you are looking for a cockroach pet, don't go to the auction house, just go to Jeremiah. They're much cheaper. During the classic quest on the farm reclamation, he actually declined to reclaim the farm and sought to grant his sister rest. He gave the adventurer his half of Janice's good luck charm and told them that her husband had the other half. Eventually, Janice was granted peace, but nobody knows if Jeremiah actually knows that it worked and that his sister got peace. So Jeremiah doesn't exactly have a good life either, or a good end of life story either. So old Emma actually was part of the group of humans and undead that tried to come together before BFA started, and all three of old Emma's sons are buried here in the graveyard in Arathi. Her oldest is James Fellstone. He was the oldest. He was a warrior of Lordaeron. He was a royal guard to King Tyrannus, and he was raised to undeath and became Forsaken after Sylvanas became war chief. The Desolate Council and the entire meeting during the Before the Storm book, he and both of his brothers were actually killed by Sylvanas and subsequently buried by old Emma and a couple of friends that she made, who were also seeking to be reunited with their kin. So her other sons were John Fellstone, also known as Jack, brother of James and Jacob, and he also was slain by Sylvanas' Dark Rangers because he wanted to rejoin his mother. And Jacob Fellstone was the youngest and also died that day. So that was really tragic. There was a lot of stuff that ended up going on. One of these days I'm actually going to read the Before the Storm book. I've never read it, but I kind of would like to. But poor old Emma, after she buried all three of her kids, she tried to vow that she was going to follow them and be reunited with them in the Shadowlands, and it didn't work out. Supposedly you can actually see her along with her friend Philia Fintalis in the Hall of Holding in Oribus, but I went to Oribus and I don't know if I just haven't done a quest that would let me see her or not, but I did not actually see her. But according to Philia, Emma is not aware that all of the souls are actually in the maw, and she asks you to just don't tell old Emma because she doesn't believe that old Emma's heart could take it. So there we go. That is the life of old Emma of Stormwind. So the next time you see her, maybe take a little walk with her, help her carry her water. She's had a really rough life, and I feel like she deserves a little bit more respect. So, if you know of an NPC that you would like me to dig into a little bit more, because this was amazingly fun. Like, I had so much fun trying to find out and dig around and see what I could learn about just an NPC that I see every single day when I'm playing World of Warcraft. So if you know of an NPC, Horde or Alliance side, that you would like to know more about, drop it in the comments down below, because I would be more than happy to see if there's anything to find out about them. I don't think that every NPC has an extensive backstory, but if there's anything I learned when doing the wish remover and looking into all of the background characters who had tossed coins into the fountain, it's that World of Warcraft has a lot richer history than I had thought, and even these little NPCs that you don't really think that much about have a heck of a backstory to them. So, if you have somebody that you would like me to dig into, drop it in the comments down below. Otherwise, thank you for joining me. Like I said before, the next time you see old Emma, maybe give her a wave, maybe tell her hi. And other than that, thank you for listening to me, and I will see you next time.